What's going on YouTube? Heroes Gaming here, coming at you guys with a MLB The Show 20 career update. As you guys know, the last time I was streaming, there was a thunderstorm, and while I was streaming during that thunderstorm, a lightning strike had taken place, and it destroyed my recording equipment. So I have to buy new streaming equipment, but I can still record videos and I can see if I can start streaming again off of one of my older capture cards. We'll see how that works. But since I've stopped streaming, I figured that I would just play the games and see how I do and see what happens, and then I'll come to you guys with an update video, which I'm doing now. Um, as you guys can see in the video, we did make it to the playoffs. Um, we made it to the playoffs and we did pretty good. As you can see, the standings I just showed you, and now I'm just going to be talking over the video. It's a pre-recorded video, but this is me going through the awards. We were not able to get any awards this season because we were injured for 2 months, so we didn't play enough games to be considered for any type of awards this year, which is okay. We still did pretty good overall as a individual player, and the team came on really, really strong at the end of the year. The games that I wasn't able to stream, we came along pretty strong at the end of the year. Excuse me. Um, Here are my stats for my career so far. We played a total of 6 total seasons. There are my games at bats, runs, hits, doubles, triples, total home runs, 358 total home runs in our career. We will be hitting 400 next season. I cannot wait. And speaking of next season, as you guys know, I'm going to be becoming a free agent. And you guys have been waiting patiently for that to happen, wondering what team I'm going to pick. And I really didn't know what team I was going to pick until the season was actually over and the next year began, because I have to wait for all the trades and all the signings to go through to see what team I wanted to pick. I just didn't want to pick any team. But as far as the offseason and the playoffs, we barely almost won the World Series. We lost against the Washington Nationals. And that brings us to the offseason. We came so close to winning the World Series, and it sucks that I wasn't able to stream that because we won the ALDS, we won the ALCS, and then it was very, very close. It was a back and forth series against the Nationals. For a second, I actually thought we were going to win the World Series, and then we just came up too short. The pitching let us down, and we just couldn't hang in there. The pitching was giving up too many runs. Like, we would score like 5 or 6 runs, but then the pitching would give up like 7, 8, 9, 10 runs, and we just couldn't keep up with that. And that was one of my fears going into the postseason. How many runs will our pitching give up? And it was giving up just the minimum enough for us to get past the ALDS and the LCS so we can get to the World Series. And I thought we had a chance. I thought I had a chance to win my first World Series, but it was not to be, which is okay. Um, it was really exciting to play in the World Series because, being that our pitching is so bad, I kind of knew that we're going to lose anyways, but this little hope, this little bit of tiny faith in me just thought, just maybe we can just have like 3 straight games that we can just go off and just do crazy things. but it was not. It wasn't meant to be, which is okay. Um, Speaking of the all season again, I made a decision about what team I'm going to play, that I'm going to sign with, and it took a lot of looking at different teams, looking at contracts, and looking at the rotation, different starting rotations for teams. It was not easy. It was not easy. Um, but I finally came down to a conclusion of what team I want to play with. And before I made that conclusion, I told you guys that I was not going to pick another AL team because I am tired. I was tired of playing against the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, um, and the other AL teams that we normally go against, the Tigers and the Orioles. I wanted some fresh competition. I wanted some new competition. I want to see some new teams. I wanted to see some new ballparks, and so I made up my mind that we were going to move to the NL. And that being said, I had to start looking for NL teams that were in a good position to, one, have a good pitching rotation because that's what I desperately needed. That's what we were desperately missing on our team this year. We could have won the World Series if we had decent pitching because our batting was great. Our batting, we had no issues with batting. Our offense was great. It's just our pitching would give up like 8, 9, 10 runs a game. So if we have to score 11, 12, 13 runs a game, that's not going to happen. So that was the number one priority for me, is our starting rotation, and also the bullpen. Starting rotation has to be like superb. Bullpen has to be decent. I'm not asking for a godly bullpen, but a decent bullpen and a great closing pitcher. So starting rotation has to be really, really good, at least top five. Um, and the closer has to be really, really good, and bullpen has to be okay, enough to get us by. And secondly, the batting has to be really, really good. It doesn't have to be like top 10. Well, yes, batting has to be top 10 also. Um, but another thing that I was also looking for in choosing a new team is contracts. I was looking at contracts to see, the good players, how many years they had left on their contracts. Did they have 3 years left? Did they have 10 years left? That is a big decision. That's very important when you're a free agent and you're looking to see where you're going to sign. Because I was not planning on signing a contract more than 3 years. Uh, when I was looking to sign a contract, it was either between 2 or 3, nothing more than 3. So those things that those are the things I was looking for when it came to looking for a new team to sign with. Because I wasn't going back to the Rays. There was no way I was going back to the Rays. The pitching is not good. And then when the next season started, they didn't make any changes. As you can see there, they didn't make any changes in their starting rotation. Batting for the Rays is great, but what's the point of having good batting if the lineup is going to give up, 11, 12 runs a game? So I was not going back to the Rays. So those are the things that I was looking for when it came to a new team. Superb pitching, decent bullpen, great closer, good offense, and looking at contracts to see what certain players were going to be there for at least 3 years. I'm not asking for them to be there for like 4 or 5 years, at least 3 years. And then after my contract is up, I can look elsewhere because you never want to sign a contract for like 5, 6, 7 years because you're not in control of what players the AI, what players your team trades, signs, and gets rid of. You guys have seen it all the time in my Road to the Show series. During the All Star break, we sign and we trade players all the time, and it either goes in our favor or it doesn't. You know, um, but yeah, it was very, very difficult choosing. I came down. It came down to, I think it was like three or four. I'm gonna say three teams that it came down to. Um, that it was really, really tough to see and to pick. But I think I made the right decision. Um, and I really, really think you guys are gonna love the decision I made, because I don't know if some of you mentioned what team you wanted me to play for, but I think you guys are gonna love this. I really do. Um, there was no way I was gonna pick another AL team because, like I mentioned before, I was really tired of playing in the AL. Wanted a new scenery, wanted something different, and I just wanted to get out of a dome. And that's another hint for you guys. The team that I picked, it doesn't is not a dome. It doesn't. It's not a retractable roof. Also, it's no kind of roof on it. It's just a wide open ballpark. Great outfield. You can see the ball coming in perfectly. Nothing distracting, and it's very, very nice. I've never played for this team in any of my Road to the Show um, characters or careers. So this is something new, and I might even re-sign with this team after 3 years. But enough of me rambling. This is who I picked: the Cincinnati Reds. Yes, I picked the Cincinnati Reds. Why? Because one of the things that I mentioned, they have a they have great batting. Look at this: Vladimir, Austin, Fernando, Joey, just amazing, amazing batting. And not only do they have amazing batting, but they also have an amazing, amazing starting rotation. And they have a great bullpen. And they have an amazing closer. Like, there's nothing more I could have asked for when looking for a team. Just look at this rotation. Look at it. Yes, it's 190 overall, but the rotation is great and a great pitcher. Um, so yes, I signed with the Reds for 2 years, and hopefully we can do something in 2 years. Um, and our division is kind of weak. Look at that: second in contact, first in power, seventh in pitching. Our division is not really that good. I think the Pirates aren't really going to be much of a team that's going to be in the way. But the other teams that I had in mind was the Phillies. So I had the Phillies in mind, I had the Reds in mind, and then I had the Padres in mind. So those are the three teams that I had in mind, that I was coming really, really close to signing with the Padres. But it was something about the Padres. I think it was some of the contracts that I seen that are just for like 1 year or something like that, and I wanted to sign at least a 2 or 3 year contract. So that's what it came down to. As you can see, the Rays have not made any changes to they just suck pretty much.